healthcare scandal and everything that's been going on and kind of our collective response to it. Yeah, like, first of all, for this entire saga, I am sad, but it's so interesting to me that despite our political climate, like, we were literally a divided country just a couple weeks ago. The depths that people would go to not just fight for their side, but to condemn the other and everyone that supported it, absolutely asinine. To then seeing this event and seeing how everyone's on the same page, seeing how people from both sides are saying this is not a party issue, this is a human issue. You can't just say, oh, blame the other side, da da da, because I feel like this too. And when you say that, you're excluding me. People are actually seeing the humanity in everything going on around us. Well, not in everything, but in this particular situation. And I think everyone is so tuned in and supportive and like rallying around the same thing. Partially because this is like a Netflix drama come to life, layered with a lot of themes that deeply resonate with a lot of people. And it's like a singular event that's inspiring so much revolutionary action and has such an impact on the population at large of speaking up against something we all collectively hate so much. However, people smarter than me are spending their time analyzing that and what that means and how society is responding and all that kind of stuff. And you should definitely check it out. But the other reason of why we're all on the same page and where my expertise does come in is because we're all pissed the fuck off. We are all at our limit. We are all enraged. We've all been victimized by this system in one way or another. And we can't look at it so objectively anymore because we've been touched by the violence of the oppression. This is maybe the only system of oppression in this country that has touched every single population so viscerally. Definitely still some more than others, but everyone has been affected by this to the point where they have to see it, they have to look at it, and they have to look at it clearly. And when they do, they get mad. They get so mad because there's so much to get mad about. And when we get mad, and especially when that anger is silenced, or in some way prevented from coming out, seeing to fruition, our natural tendency and our historic tendency is to get violent. Contrary to the popular saying, violence does be solving shit from time to time. And most of those times, violence is usually involved to actually create revolution, because violence is also involved to silence and create the systems in which people want to revolt from. Violence is in our nature. And because we're not all Jason Bourne level spies, we need to actually be able to process our rage without becoming violent criminals. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to start with a quote by Nikki Giovanni. Rest in peace to one of the greats. But she said, "Rage is to writers what water is to fish." And to me, when she says writer, at least I think of a writer as any other human who has the capacity and the willingness to experience the depths of rage and the depths of love and the depths of all their emotions and then exist with it. So if someone who is able to experience and emotionally process the highs and lows of the human existence knows rage intimately, because to feel is to be, is to understand, is to know, is to see, to hold the duality. Because to know good, you have to know bad. To know joy, you have to know pain. To know exuberance, you have to know rage. And understanding that spectrum requires you to exist in it, to know nothing else. but the depth of your emotions, just as fish know nothing else other than water. But that's not all hopeless. I think that sounded a lot more cynical than I actually intended it to be. I just really like that quote, and I really like Nikki Giovanni, and I maybe just thought about that a little bit too much. But the point is, we all have rage. We all know rage. We all have a relationship with rage. Now, if that relationship is a healthy one or not, to be determined, but we all have rage. It's carnal and it's primal to us, and it's not bad. It's not wrong. It is just human. So what is rage? At the end of the day, rage is an emotion. And what's an emotion? It's a feeling in your body, physical sensations in your body that give your brain information about what's going on. At the end of the day, emotions are just one of the ways that your body transfers information back and forth. There is no moral compass on feelings. They are not good. They are not bad. They just exist. Like in a car, the check engine light and all the other lights that are on the dash, they just let you know, like, hey, there's something going on that you should pay some more attention to. That's all a feeling is. That's all an emotion is. That's all rage is. Notifying you that something's going on that you should pay attention to. And it makes sense when you really think about it, because when we're so angry that we are enraged, it's because something is going on that requires our attention, that usually requires multiple people's attention and changed behavior and new policy and all those types of things. But rage usually means that something has been going on too much, too long, past the breaking point. Literally the last fuck has been given and there is nothing left. And that's when rage enters the picture. So clearly, it just means that we need to pay attention to something. So don't get mad at yourself for being mad, for being angry, for feeling a feeling. Pay attention. See where it's coming from. See how you can understand it more and how you can get your needs met. Which brings us, what do we do with rage? Like, okay, once we identify it, once we understand that we have it or we feel it right now, what do we do with it? What do you do with information? Well, my friend, you learn from it, you try to understand it, and you use it to make better decisions in the future. So what can we learn from our rage? We can learn what's going on inside of us. What is making us so angry? What is the need that's going unmet? And what do we actually need for ourselves? What do we need to? So in this situation, I think a lot of people don't feel safe. And it boils down to the human need and the human right to feel safe. And that's because companies like United Healthcare have decided time and time again to put profit over actual health, put revenue over preventative care, to put lining their pockets over saving lives. And as a result, lots of people lost their lives. Lots of people's quality of lives significantly changed. Lots of people's families significantly changed. The impact of these decisions have had such far-reaching consequences and ripple out effects that, again, all of us have been touched by it. And all of us have had our safety threatened. And when our safety is threatened, it's very easy and very natural to lash out, to respond by trying to threaten others' safety, to make yourself seem like a threat so that people leave you alone. And then the cycle just continues. But what it's stemming from is a desire for safety, a desire to protect yourself and the people that you love. So when we understand that at its core, we can do things to make ourselves feel better, feel safer, that don't require us to act violent, but still point us in the right direction of what needs to be changed. So when we learn from the emotion, when we learn from the rage, we can learn how to meet our needs in other ways. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and say that if you need a $500,000 heart transplant, that you'd be able to meet that need in another way. outside of criminal activity or having a boatload of money. But if what you are needing is emotional safety, you can find emotional safety in other ways. You can find physical safety in other ways. And you can make the journey to getting the care that you actually need significantly better, so you have more capacity or more resource to not only walk that road, but experience it as well. And this goes for everything, not just these types of enraged situations or healthcare situations. But when you know and understand how a need isn't being met for you, you don't have to just suffer. You don't just have to take it. You don't just have to leave it at a deficit. When you know what you're truly looking for, you learn how to give it to yourself in other ways. And you can get creative about giving it to yourself, so you end up actually resourced, you end up actually at full capacity instead of always operating at a deficit. So what do you do with rage? You learn from it so you could give yourself and your people what you need. And finally, what if when you're learning from the rage, getting to know the rage, that it actually tells you that it wants to be violent, that it wants to transmute and process this energy by being violent? What do we do then? So first step is going to be to check in, go deeper, see if acting out that violence is actually going to help you. Is it actually going to serve you? Is it actually going to make you feel better? Or is that just what you think that you need to act out this violence in a particular way in order to feel better? Because that is not true. I didn't said ask yourself how you want to feel, what would make you feel better, and then skip the middleman and go straight to that part, because usually it's not the actual act. And then if you still are desiring violence, remember consequences. I am always a proponent of letting people do whatever they want to do, but I'd be remiss if I did not say that everybody gets to do whatever they want to do. So all of your actions have an equal and opposite reaction. If you go around hitting folks can come around hitting you. So it's really making a decision after understanding the potential consequences of a situation. Do you really want the potential of getting hit back, if that's what the action is? Do you really want the potential of losing your life? Do you really want the potential of eating some jail food? Is it really worth it? So remember your consequences and decide accordingly. But all in all, your rage is not bad. It's telling you something. And when you see that you have people around you that are just as enraged as you, that are just as upset as you, that you can bond over this experience, then do that. There's so much in this world that divides people apart. So take every opportunity you can to come together. And this is not me saying, again, disclaimer, this is not me saying go around, grab your buddies and grab your pitchforks. This ain't that. But what I am saying is that you can find people in solidarity with you. You can find people who understand you and your experiences. You can find people who feel the way that you feel, so you don't have to explain yourself with them. You can just be understood. And that in and of itself is also getting certain needs met. So don't fear your rage. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It's just human. Accept it so you can accept yourself and get back to living the life that you actually want. And as always, I'm here to support you in that. So go ahead, hit the link in the show notes, and book a sales call if you want to work with me, and book a single session if you just like to get a dose of support on any topic of your choosing. All right, my friends, that's it. Actually, that's not it. I have one more thing to tell you. I've been gearing up for a new marketing campaign. I got new handles, so I'm going to be updating everything, but y'all can follow me at The Pleasure Priority over on Instagram and over on TikTok and over on Threads. It's going to be great. So make sure y'all follow me there, and I will see you soon. So until next time, stay pleased, friends. Thanks for joining me for this episode of The Pleasure Priority. I hope that when you see things can be better, you're inspired to do better. Because remember, you deserve nothing less than an abundance of joy, fulfillment, and all the peaceful good vibes. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Oh, and hey, make sure you're on my email list for more tips, laughs, story times, community, and all things pleasure. So until next time, keep living life on your terms because settling is for the birds. All right, stay pleased, my friends. I'll see you soon.